Hello, everybody. And can we get the idea, folks, that we are all one? There is only the universe. By definition, universe is everything there is. There is only one. You're some of it. He's some of it. She's some of it. DotCom is some of it. We're one. We are one. We are not competing with each other. We are one. And we have this yearning to get up there and be one with God, with the universe. That we all hold hands together and realize our oneness with God. That we are all one. We are not separate, competing with each other. We are all living in oneness. Cooperation isn't really a good word because that suggests separation. What is the word? Can you tell me? Now this is such an enormous thing. This is such an enormous concept for us to grasp, that we are all one. That our itty-bitty minds cannot really intercept it. But we're yearning to. Look at this. You, Y-O-U. And remember, you're not separate from me or anyone else. Are the creativity of the universe in human form. That's what you are. You are the creativity of the universe in human form. DotCom's the creativity of the universe in cat form. What do we know about the universe? What do we know about God? Create, 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 create. One cat, a Felix domestica, a house cat, isn't enough. You have to have lions. You have to have tigers, you have to have cheetahs, you have to have lynx, bobcats, tigers. One cat isn't enough. God loves to create. So, you are the creativity of the universe in human form. And there's something about transcend. You want to transcend yourself. You want to transcend your separateness. You want to transcend your ego. And you want to be one. You want to feel that oneness. Adhere is to cleave one body to another, but not in wholeness. What we really want, folks, you and I, we want cohere. That's as a whole. To cleave one body to another as a whole. Here's another phrase. We want to engage in the unceasing dynamic. Good phrase. Good phrase, people. This is Painting the Stars, a disc, a DVD disc. And this is chapter 3. Getting Genesis Wrong. It has a very, very fine view of Genesis, the book of the Bible, the first one. Unceasing dynamic. How often you and I have told each other, we know a lot about God. One of the things we know about God is motion. 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 Always moving. So that's the great phrase, unceasing dynamic. Never adynamic, which is loss of motion. Never. And we want to enhance, this is their word, we want to enhance and amplify. Great word. Enhance and amplify. What? The whole process. This is spiritual evolution. This is spiritual evolution. We're getting better and better. We're getting smarter and smarter. And we're getting what? The oneness more and more. Don't you love it? DotCom, don't you love it? An increase in beauty, truth, and goodness. The unceasing dynamic, the spiritual evolution. We are getting better. Well, yeah, we are. We are getting better. Oh, we are getting better. Without mentioning the ugliness of previous generations, we don't do those things anymore. You remember you and I took a vow that I would do what I could to make you happy, and you would do whatever you could to make me happy. Remember that? And part of that vow was that we wouldn't think about evil. And we wouldn't see it, and we wouldn't hear it, we wouldn't speak it, and we wouldn't do it. Another part of that vow was what? Do you remember? We would stay in the present. Not the past, not the future. We would stay in the present. And that word present, say also we would stay in the presence. We would stay in the presence of God. We would stay in the presence of that oneness. Not fighting for our ego, not fighting for ourselves, not being a self. But joining in that oneness. Let me read you some more phrases from this wonderful work, this work of wonder. Painting the stars. I have to read you the copyright. Painting the stars, copyright 2013. LivingTheQuestions.com. LIC. License for use for 1 year from date of purchase. I think it costs $40. And thank you, the Reverend Diane Marquette, pastor of Grace Methodist Church in Nassau, New York, for bringing this to me and to you. But remember, you, me, we're all one. Another way to say this is that we don't have a self. Yes, so Christ says love your neighbor as yourself, but that neighbor is a self. It's you. You're loving that neighbor as much as you love yourself, and maybe better. We don't have a self. Selfing process of the universe expressing itself through the unique centers of personhood. Selfing and personhood. New words. So we don't have a self. We just have our oneness. The universe and Earth itself become personalized in and through us. What's that mean? Yeah, I guess so. Remember, we are the creativity of the universe in human form. Okay, so that fits in. We are not isolated individuals. I just got through saying that. But rather differentiated expressions. Hey, good for you. Differentiated expressions of the unity and creativity. That is the universe. The unity and creativity that is the universe. We are differentiated expressions of that. Hey, good for you folks. And they say we are differentiated expressions of the unity and creativity of the evolutionary process. That's the way God works. That's the way the universe has worked. One form. You have A, two A's make a B, two B's make a C, two C's make a D, differentiated, A, B, C, D. I get it. Do you get it? There was this atom, A-T-O-M, sitting on a park bench. And he was dejected, despondent. And a man came along and sat down on the park bench with him. And the man said to the atom, "You seem dejected. What's the matter?" And the atom says, "I'm not an atom any longer. I'm an ion. I lost an electron." And the man said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "I'm positive." Third paragraph. Now this applies to our stewardship. You remember Genesis says that man had dominion over everything. It doesn't mean dominion in the sense that you exploit everything and you use it for selfish, personal reasons. No. When we have dominion over everything, it means that we have stewardship over it. It's there for us to take care of. We have to undo the harm that's been done to our universe, specifically this planet. Because unless we imagine the metaphor of stewardship with this in mind, that we are all one, that is, we will not function with the requisite vitality, resilience, and wisdom required to reverse the devastation that we are enacting. We will address our ecological crises from a small sense of self. No, we don't have dominion over it because it's ours, it's self. And we're going to exploit it and make money on it. No, that's not the kind of dominion we have. The dominion we have is stewardship. We take care of it. We will address our ecological crises from a small sense of self that is too small, and therefore with an urge to bear on this crisis minds and hearts that are too small. But when we realize that the whole is gathered up in us, what was that? That was our oneness. You and I don't exist as you and I. You and I exist melded into one. Coherence. As a whole body. And that whole body is what? The universe, God. But when we realize that the whole is gathered up in us, and that in the, as the poet Walt Whitman says, we are large, we contain multitudes. When we realize that, we harness an organic care, even love, for the world that has been gifted to us as an inheritance. Well, that's sort of getting away from oneness. I really don't think they should have said that. The world really hasn't been gifted to us. The world belongs to the universe. Nothing's been gifted to us. We're just part of the universe, some of the whole. And we're really not a part. I shouldn't have used that word, because we're not part. We're not a speck here, a speck there, a speck there, a speck there. We're some of it. We're some of a process. Again, the dynamics. Okay. To repeat, the reason for our foolish behavior as a species is not that we are intrinsically bad, but rather that we have an identity crisis in the 21st century. Well, now what are they saying? I guess they're just saying what we've already said. We identify ourselves as something separate. You're separate from me. You're separate from your neighbor. That is not the case. You're not separate. You're one. We are as identified as some of the universe, not a part of it, but as some of it. Now, I don't want this to lead to pantheism. True enough. God is everything, but don't take it as pantheistic. Okay. And expanding our identity into a truly cosmic self. Ah, there it is, that's it. You're a cosmic self. You're not a Joseph self or a Marian self or a Peter self. You're a cosmic self. You are creativity of the universe in human form. That's what you are. Into a truly cosmic self, and we will be able to take up our role as stewards of our Earth community. Love it, I love it, I love it. TikTok. Again, let me give these people the credit due them. It's Painting the Stars, copyright 2013. Living the Questions, .com, LIC, license for use for 1 year from the date of purchase. And let me show you their logo. So I would go to the YouTube, or not the YouTube, but the internet, and look at that, Painting the Stars. Getting Genesis Wrong. Science, religion, and an evolving faith. Now, you know, folks, I've been saying this for years. Years and years and years and years. This is the first time I've heard anybody else say it. Wonderful. And I know you think it's wonderful, because you and I are on the same wavelengths. Oneness. What do I have else to tell you? Thank you, Franklin, for sending down the 3 checks from heaven. One of those checks comes from Warren Buffett. Is he the richest man in America? And it comes because he owns the Buffalo Evening News. Thank you, Warren Buffett. And it has been coming for 20 years. Oh, way before that. Yeah, 20 years. Maybe 30 years. 83 to 93 to 13. Yes. 20 years. And it is so good that this month there's even money left over. And so where will that money go? It will go to American Vegan Society. If we were all vegan, we wouldn't be out terrorizing, torturing, bludgeoning, agonizing, destroying, exploiting animals to eat them. So the American Vegan Society takes care of all of the animal organizations, but I will send some to Compassion Over Killing. They're very activist and bringing it to people's attention what is going on. And I will send some for Mercy for Animals. all of I would say I get 25 letters a month from different animal organizations. Thank God that people are standing up for the animals. And it's just too much to keep up with. And if you do send them money, they keep sending you requests for money. So I wrap them all up into those three: American Vegan Society, Compassion Over Killing, and Mercy for Animals. And to all of us in oneness, breathe on us, breath of God, fill us with life anew, that we may love as thou dost love, and do as thou wouldst do. Hello, everybody, and can we get the idea, folks, that we are all one? There is only the universe. By definition, universe is everything there is. There is only one. You're some of it. He's some of it. She's some of it. DotCom is some of it. We're one. We are one. We are not competing with each other. We are one. And we have this yearning to get up there and be one with God, with the universe. That we all hold hands together and realize our oneness with God. That we are all one. We are not separate, competing with each other. We are all living in oneness. Cooperation isn't really a good word because that suggests separation. What is the word? Can you tell me? Now this is such an enormous thing. This is such an enormous concept for us to grasp, that we are all one. That our itty-bitty minds cannot really intercept it. But we're yearning to.